Hey guys, I'm back with some more news. Yeah. The one that I wanted to show you is copyrighted, so I couldn't get it. But the problem is Black Lives Matter, Antifa, and all those people involved in this mess, I think it's okay to go into private property and steal whatever you want because it's a protest. Now I know you can't be that damn stupid to think that that's okay, but that's not breaking the law. People out there depend on their businesses for an income, and you're robbing them blind. Who do you think pays for that? Who do you think's going to end up paying for all that stuff you stole? Your community. Because they're going to have to raise prices to make up for all that theft. And if you burn the businesses down, where's your people going to work? Where's the people of that community going to work? You guys need to stop and think about stuff. It's okay to protest, but it's never okay to do violent acts, breaking and entering, steal, rob, pillage, murder. That's never okay. You guys there's too many, you guys are racist. BLM, BDS, you're racist. You went and destroyed Israeli Jewish churches, and you know that ain't good. That's not right at all. You yell racial slurs at them as you're passing by. Hey, Black Lives Matter, BDS, what in the hell is wrong with you? This was started because of a police officer and the George Floyd. Well, it all started back when that Zimmerman dude killed that young black boy and practically got away with it. He shouldn't have, but I don't know why he did. I don't know. But you guys have got to understand, that there's boundaries. When you cross those boundaries, there's going to be consequences. And you might not like them. You might not like the consequences when you have to deal with them. Because eventually you're going to deal with those consequences. It's going to come right back on you. All these businesses you destroy, yeah, you're the ones going to be responsible for the crime. They know who's doing it. They know exactly who's doing it. And you think you're getting away with it, but you're not. And you think you're going to have a Marxist country in the United States? No, that'll never happen. Y'all need to grow up, get a job, go to work, earn your money, stop harassing people, stop harassing businesses, stop destroying businesses, stop shoplifting from these businesses. This protest turned into just, hey, let's go pillage and get free stuff. You guys are crazy. You guys are the definition of crazy. But I'm going to tell you, you know where it's going to stop. You know exactly where it's going to stop. And you're probably not going to like it, but it's going to stop. It's been going on far too long. It's time to stop, grow up, act like an adult. And you Democrats, you need to stop pandering to them. You need to stop your shit, Democrats. Stop pandering to this BLM and BDS and Antifa. Jerry Nadler, Antifa ain't a myth, you dumb bastard. Adam Schiff, Jerry Nadler, Nancy Pelosi, Chucky Schumer. You all are a myth. You're dumb. You're clowns. You're a circus. And that's all you are, is a circus. You ain't nothing more than a circus. You haven't done anything in the 40 years you've been in office. You haven't done a damn thing to help this country. Joe Biden he's been in there since 72. He's had 48 years. He may have been a little less. I don't remember how long exactly he was in there, but he's been in there for a long time. And he's done nothing. Nothing. And now he thinks he's going to change America. Now he's going to make it better. No, he's just going to take it. He's going to rewind you, and you're going to go back to the Obama era. If that's what you want, so be it. But all I got to say is, you're stupid if that's what you want. You're plain stupid. You belong in that Black Lives Matter and BDS and Antifa group if you believe that shit. And anyway, Black Lives Matter and Antifa, they don't care about Joe Biden. It ain't about that. They want their own Marxist country. Look it up. The two leaders in Black Lives Matter are trained Marxists. And that's what they want, just like Antifa. Look it up, people. Look it up. Because time's running out. You need to pick a side. You need to stand on the right side. If not, you're going to be left in the cold. And believe me, Black Lives Matter ain't the right side. Antifa ain't the right side. BDS ain't the right side. They're corrupt. All they are is racial groups. They're racist. Racist against everybody but them. I'm going to let you read this here in a second, but right now we need to get it adjusted. So give me a minute. Let's see here. And we start right there. Alright guys, I'm going to let you read this. So, get it up there. Alright.
In the wake of nationwide protests following the May 25th police killing of a black man, George Floyd, in Minneapolis, Jewish businesses, synagogues, and schools in the Fairfax section of Los Angeles were vandalized and looted. The rioters, including members of Antifa and Black Lives Matter, screamed, "Effing Jews" as they destroyed property and defaced houses of worship with graffiti that read, "Free Palestine, F Israel, and Kill the Jews." Anti-Semitic slurs were smeared onto the statue of Raoul Wallenberg, the Swedish diplomat who saved thousands of Hungarian Jews from the Nazis. Sid's Pharmacy, a fixture in this historic Jewish heart of LA, was one of the businesses pillaged. Owner Jonathan Friedman stood across the street and watched helplessly as the mob smashed his windows, ripped apart the store interior and stole drugs. "I've been broken into before, but to watch people viciously destroy your store for no reason is a whole different ball game," he commented. "We had no part in this," he added in frustration. Friedman had cause to be disheartened. Jewish Americans have always championed black civil rights. They were allies with Dr. Martin Luther King, Jr. before he had significant other white support. A few lost their lives in the civil rights protests of the 1960s. The American Jewish community has continued to advocate against racism of any kind, including unequivocally condemning Floyd's murder. How does a group protesting Floyd's death morph into these targeted acts of Jew hatred? The anti-Semitic attacks in Fairfax and elsewhere are the result of the political alliance between the Black Lives Matter movement, BLM, and the anti-Israel boycott, divestment, and sanctions movement, BDS. Both groups brand Israel as a racist nation. They make common cause in their hatred of the Jewish collective, Israel, and the American Jewish community, which they smear as enablers of bigotry. As intersectional compatriots, both BLM and BDS believe that their mutual goals are irreconcilable with Zionism. It's a diabolical witch's brew. Founded in 2013 in response to the acquittal of George Zimmerman in Trayvon Martin's death, Black Lives Matter gained prominence and resonance the following year during the nationwide protests that followed Michael Brown's death in Ferguson, Missouri. Signs reading, "From Ferguson to Palestine," and "Racism" now appeared at protests, providing a conceptual linkage between African Americans and Palestinians. BDS activists shrewdly grafted their cause onto the BLM movement, with protesters fallaciously claiming that the Israeli military trained the Ferguson Police Department in brutal police methods subsequently used against Black Americans. In 2016, BLM published a platform exposing the movement's anti-Israel and anti-Jewish bias. It has since been removed from its website. It accused Israel of being an apartheid state committing genocide and alleged that Israel and its Jewish supporters have pushed the U.S. into wars in the Middle East. The platform also officially joined BLM with the BDS campaign to free Palestine from the Jordan River to the Mediterranean Sea, to dismantle the State of Israel. In the current protests, BLM and BDS activists have stepped up efforts to link Israel to claims of American racism. Photos of George Floyd wearing a keffiyeh and draped in a Palestinian flag are promoted on social media. A picture shared on Twitter depicts an Israeli and an American police officer embracing while kneeling on the necks of a Palestinian and a black man, respectively. Intifada, Arabic for uprising, is the laudatory term used to describe the riots exploding across the U.S. BLM's Patrice Cullors, speaking about her 2015 trip to Palestine, she refers to Israel as Palestine, expressed solidarity with the Palestinians who, she claimed, were experiencing the same oppression as American blacks. She called for the liberation of pre-1967 Israel, the West Bank, and the Hamas-governed Gaza Strip and referred to Israel as the new South Africa. Cullors and other BLM leaders signed a 2015 Black Solidarity Statement with Palestine that falsely accused Israel of ethnic cleansing and brutality and endorsed BDS. BLM joined BDS in the July 1, 2020 Day of Rage nationwide demonstrations against Israel's proposed application of civilian law in areas of Judea and Samaria, aka West Bank, part of the U.S. peace plan. Alternating rallying cries of Black Lives Matter and Palestinian Lives Matter could be heard, along with BLM supporters shouting, "Israel, we know you murder children, too." Historically, Jew hatred has often found expression in pogroms. Jonathan Friedman never thought such a thing could happen in Fairfax. It did. Zibadal is a senior fellow with the News and Public Policy Group.
Yep. Lives Matter. Let's talk about racism. And all that. Well, what are they doing? They're doing the same damn thing. Two wrongs don't make a right. Racism, racism ain't as bad as what they make you think it is. It was through the 60s. There was segregation, and I wasn't around then, and most of you probably weren't. And it was wrong. And most Americans admit it was wrong. And most Americans admit that slavery was wrong. But we had nothing to do with that, not in this day and age. None of us. We never owned slaves. And you alive today, you weren't slaves in America. This has got to stop. This is stupid. And you know what they want? They just want to have their own Marxist country. That's what they want. They don't want no law. They want to be the law. They want to make you bend the knee to them. Like there's some kind of gods or something. And once you take that knee, they got you. They got you. You kiss that boot. If you bend down on your knee and kiss that boot, you're disgusting. I don't know, folks, but it's really getting crazy out there. They think it's okay to go break in people's homes, break in businesses, steal whatever they want because it's a protest. Are you fools? BLM, I'm talking to you. Are you fools? You think that's okay? How would you feel if somebody broke into your home and took your shit? How would you feel about that? Well, if the tables turned on you and everybody started protesting and going to your houses, the Black Lives Matter houses, Antifa houses, and taking everything, committing violent acts, how would you feel? I don't know, but you guys have got to stop. You're never going to solve anything by violence or robbing things. That's not going to solve anything. That's just going to put you in jail. You might be running free now, but eventually they're going to find out who you are. They got cameras everywhere. They're going to find out who you are, and they're coming after you. They're going to lock you up, hopefully for life. And you people that are out there supporting this Black Lives Matter behind the scenes, the same goes for you. How would you feel if somebody broke into your home, stole your stuff, hurt you, hurt your family? Because they feel like they have the right to do that. That's theirs. They own it now. Hell, they even want you to give your houses away to a black person. Instead of selling, they want you to give it to them. They're deceitful. It's an evil group. They're evil. I mean, pure evil. That's all it is pure evil. You can't trust the Black Lives Matter or BDS or Antifa. If you follow them, you're following them into your destruction. That's all I can say. You're going to be destroyed. They're not going to stand back and be nice about it. They're going to get you in, get you on your knee, then they own you. Then y'all's going to be stuck. No way out. No way out. So my advice is you better get out while you can. Better get away from that group. Because the time's coming. You know, Black Lives do matter. All God's creation matters. All God created human life, so it's human life that matters. All human life, not just one. And you can say, well, they stood up for that white guy that got killed by a cop the other day. And that's just a show. That's all that is a show, because they're both saying, well, you don't stand up, Well, now they're just doing it for show. They don't care. They don't care about no life. They just want the Marxist country. That's all it is. And every excuse they get to protest, they're going to do it. They don't want law enforcement. They don't want government. They want their own Marxist government. Black Lives Matter. It ain't going to happen. Give it up.